Hip-hop.
Anonymous.
Saturdays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sapo Scratch Track Saturdays. You got your boy ASAP Froggy, Mr. Bingus Frog.
Ribbit, y'all.
And we got the one, the only Mr. A-Bomb, a.k.a. Doc Froggle Day.
Very exciting show for you today. We have WeinbagZ on the line, and WeinbagZ is all over the spaces. And we were talking a little bit about before the show started about how quickly the space can move and kind of move on, and that's what the whole NFT space has felt like to me recently. In terms of, you know, you miss a day, you miss a month, you miss a year. Because I mean, even my Discord, right? I used to check that every single day. I've had some stuff going on recently where I've been distracted, and I look back after, you know, a couple of days now, and there's like thousands of different things going on in all these different servers, and it's impossible to keep up if you're not on top of it on a daily basis.
100%. And I there was a period of time where I was really trying to keep up with Discord and felt like I had to sort of be really on top of everything that was going on in the servers I was a part of. And like after a week, I was like, there's just no fucking way. Yeah. So honestly, I use Discord now just to like pop in, and if I have a question or need to figure something out about, you know, whatever I'm using, I'll pop into their server. And then there are a few servers that I'll check up on periodically just to see what's going on, but it's hard to keep up with all that stuff.
Yeah, it's impossible to keep up with every single one of them.
How many servers do you think you can keep track of at any given moment in time? I think I'm at like 5, I'd say. Any more than that, I can't.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could do 5. Like, I'm in the async Discord, although lately I haven't been checking it, but I pop in there every once in a while, and yeah, lately, honestly, I've just been using it for, like, if I need to open a support ticket with somebody or ask a question about, you know, something, I'll just pop into that server. But that's pretty much it lately, which maybe if Twitter goes down, you know, we're trying to figure out where the place is going to be. Like, I'm on Lens, I'm on Farcaster, I'm on Reddit, maybe Discord. I don't know. I mean, I hate Discord.
Yeah. Have you got your eyes on any interesting projects at the moment?
I mean, I will say that I'm not really in buying mode right now. It's, you know, I need to start selling more to buy. But
yeah,
my friend Genzo just dropped another async blueprints project. I'm just really stoked on like async blueprints. So I always sort of check out what's going on there. And
I have no idea what async what this is. Could you enlighten me?
Tell us about that. Oh, definitely, yeah. So they have blueprints and then they have music blueprints. So essentially what it is it's like a no-code tool that allows you to create like an audio visual generative project where you can link each visual trait to an audio stem, and then they will like be mixed together. So yeah, like I was on a project called Homework, which is one of the launch partners for music blueprints. And it's just like, you know, pretty much think of like a generative art piece or like a programmable art piece, but each trait has a sound attached to it, and they sort of show up together as a, you know, like a full piece.
Now, is that what we see as one of the last posts on your Twitter with the spaceman and the cowboy?
Oh no! So that stuff I also deployed a new
because that stuff is fucking cool, man.
Oh, thank you so much. So that is actually, no. So I deployed a contract through Manifold, and that stuff is a mixture of like, I've been using Deforum, which is like stable diffusion, and pretty much like creating animations in there, and then like writing music and using that music to drive those animations.
That's amazing. And how did you learn to do that?
I mean, I learned the Deforum stuff. I started learning about the AI stuff through just some people on Twitter, like people I was hanging out with, like, I don't know if you guys would know them, but Animate Dead and Jeff Jag are 2 people that really taught me a lot. And then I just started looking up YouTube videos about like where the best places to spit out animations were, because a lot of it was just still pictures, and I wanted something to like to go with my music. So the first one I did there, it's all done through Google Collab Notebooks, which also took me a little bit to figure out, but that was all just YouTube. The first one I was using was called what the fuck was it called? Disco Diffusion. And then I switched to Deforum, which is, I guess it's using like the same stuff as Stable Diffusion, although I don't really know what that even means. But yeah, that's.
I'll tell you, YouTube being what it is, it's amazing and wondrous and also fucking scary that you could literally learn how to do anything from starting to play music to building a bomb. It's like you go on there and you can find out whatever you need to. Information is power, and that's it's amazing, but it's scary, no?
It is, yeah. I mean, but man, I've over the past few years, especially like being in COVID and stuff, I taught myself so much through YouTube, just like learning how to mix, learning how to use After Effects, and all the it's just, I don't understand why anybody would go to college anymore unless it's like a very specific thing that you need to get certified for. But man, you can really just, there's so much, but it's also, you got to learn how to like sift through the bullshit too, because there's a lot of people on there that don't really know what they're talking about, but they're
We're gonna go ahead and feature one of your tunes right now.
That sounds great.
All right, awesome. So this is WeinbagZ with Give It Up. Check it out, y'all.
Yo, that is a vibe. So, how do you go about putting a track like that together? There's a lot of instrumentation in there, all sorts of things going on. What instruments were you playing live? What was digitally created? Tell us about how you constructed that.
Yeah, I don't know what I started with, but for that one, the drums are all sampled. Most of the drums I'm using are sampled unless I hire somebody to play, which is very rare. All the keyboard stuff is live. So the horns are sampled. I have like a couple like packs of these like really cool. It's like a mix of like big band and like funk horns, anywhere from like 3-piece to like full, like a full band pretty much.
Is keyboard your main instrument, or do you play anything else?
Keyboard and guitar. So all the guitar is me too.
Okay, awesome. And
then
are you self-taught with that? Is it a bunch of YouTube training for for all your keyboard and guitar knowledge, or did you take lessons?
Yeah, no, I started when I was very young taking piano lessons, and then sort of stopped for a long time, and then took guitar lessons throughout junior high and high school, and then started picking keyboard back up, and then actually went to school for music. So I've had a lot of formal training with that stuff.
I'm a genius, actually, is what he's saying.
Multifaceted. Yeah, man.
I paid for music school, so I don't know how much of a genius I really am. But.
Well, I mean, clearly some of your training there paid off, because that was a dope track, and you clearly learned some things in terms of putting that together. I've always wanted to play keyboards well. I took piano lessons. That was one of my first instruments back in the day. And I had this piano teacher that would fall asleep during my lessons, and I didn't know if it was because I was a shitty player or because he had a long day. Turns out he was an alcoholic, and he was passing out during my lessons. But
you were lullabying him to sleep.
But I'll tell you something,
and that's why you have a drinking problem now and can't play the piano.
Yes, so I did.
Crazy how that works.
I did learn something from him, but no, I think it's his lack of enthusiasm that made me switch to guitar. So I would like to pick up the keys at some point again.
Dabble the ivories.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to music school, man?
That is a hilarious and sort of sad story too.
I know.
Funny and sad.
That's most of my life. Everything's really funny and really sad.
Yeah. Same.
And I keep telling Mr. Bingus here that we need to write a sitcom about his life.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Well, let's hear about WeinbagZ life really quick. We love to interview people, but we also like to let the people that we're interviewing know just how terrible our lives as well are. So hope you enjoy it.
Hey, if you're a musician, you probably have a shitty life. Like, that's just
if not, are you a real musician? It's like, if you haven't been rugged in NFTs, like, are you really a DJ? So all right, so let's get back on
Yeah.
point.
So where did you go to music school?
So I did 2 years at Mount Hood Community College, and then I did 3 years at Portland State University.
That's awesome.
So all in Portland here.
And you're from Portland originally?
Well, I'm actually from Boise, Idaho originally.
Shut your mouth.
Stop it right now.
You get out the front door.
WeinbagZ. A-Bomb over here is from Nampa, Idaho. The Bumpkin
What?
Boomies. Yes, sir, baby. Grew up out
Do
there.
you still live in Nampa?
No. I'm in Los Angeles now, thank the Lord. But, yeah, dude, that was my old stomping grounds, man. Did you hear what happened at Boise State recently?
No. What happened?
Well, this is going to be a little bit...
Yeah, why don't you bring up some more good news,
This
man?
is going to be a little bit...
We're talking about a quadruple homicide at Boise State. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. But, yeah, I just learned about this, last night. One of my boys was like, this is national news. I was like, well, okay, apparently I live under a rock. I apologize. But, yeah, that was something...
Apparently I do, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just stay away from the negative, stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
How I'll phrase
what
that.
else in the catastrophic news events you want to bring up, A-Bomb?
That is funny as hell. Small world, my man. Small world. That's
so what year did you graduate high school?
2010.
Yeah.
Slid by barely.
2010, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was 2006. I wonder if we knew any of the same people. Although I guess I didn't know that many people out in Nampa, but
did you...
Idaho is only like a block by a block long, right? So you guys should know all of the same people.
It's exactly that. Shut the hell up. No. What school in Boise did you go to? Did you go to Centennial? Did you go to I can't remember.
I went to Boise High.
Boise High. Okay. I went to gosh, I don't even remember what the school was called.
Potato Central?
Whatever. Damn, I have to look that school up because I went to Skyview in Nampa, Idaho. So that was
okay. I've heard of Skyview for sure.
Yeah. So my family, my cousins were all there. They were better athletes than I was. We'll just sum that story
But
up.
A-Bomb over here used to wrestle.
Used to wrestle, you know what I mean? I was a wrestling boy and all that good stuff. But yeah, I don't know. That's crazy though, man. All right. Anyways,
it is. I barely meet any people from that area. Although I've met a couple,
bizarre.
But yeah.
But that's also the thing too that I love about Web3 here is that you find a fellow Idahoan over here and you're like, what's up, man?
Idahoan.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Let's go. So, is there a big music scene in Idaho, guys?
Not really.
Nah. I mean, not really.
Not really.
Some there's music there, but it's not as prevalent as I would say Portland or anything like that.
But now you're in Portland, and that's where you're staying now.
Yeah, I've been here since 2008. Is when I moved to Portland.
Is Portland weird? Isn't that what they say? Keep Portland weird.
Portland is gentrified.
I mean, like, I want to go there just because it's supposed to be weird. Isn't that their
Portland.
slogan? It's like,
it's
keep Portland weird. That's what it's...
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It's turning less and less weird. It's more just like, I don't know. It's a bunch of yoga studios under, like, new condos. It's like what I think of.
Lame.
No, I like that. I like. Do you like yoga? Does it help you?
I don't personally do yoga. But...
He's definitely going to Portland now. Just stay your distance away from Shy Papoose WeinbagZ. He's going to try to stretch you out. You know what I'm saying?
So when you were living in Idaho playing keyboards coming up, did you start any bands? Did you join any bands? Were you playing live, or were you just kind of keeping to yourself, making your own music?
No, yeah, I used to play in bands throughout high school. I was playing guitar in bands through high school, and stopped playing live as much after high school, and then started playing out a lot when I moved to Portland. Yeah, but that's sort of how I got really started loving music, was playing in bands when I was, in my teens.
Yeah, man, I am a guitar player as well. I used to play in bands in high school, and that was like some of the most fun times of my life.
You actually played in a band in high school with like someone who's
you love to
he's actually on a magazine he's on the cover of a magazine.
Who is it?
Yes, so I don't know if you're familiar with the music producer Andrew Watt. But
I know the name, but don't know much about him.
Yeah, he was up for producer of the year at the Grammys, actually. And he this year he did he produced tracks with Ozzy Osbourne, Elton John, Britney Spears, Dua Lipa. It's insane what he's done. But
yeah, and you have like home video of
us playing in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you remember what song you guys were singing? You guys were like singing in the mic together.
That was probably My Sharona.
My Sharona. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a duet.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, playing live is a rush. And when you're young and you do that in like that high school setting, there's nothing like that. You feel like a rock star.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, one of our last guests we had on was playing as like a kid in a kid band. You know what I mean? Like as like little dudes. Like,
right. He started out professionally when he was like 10 years old.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. To think about that. Like I get in front of the ivories and I'm like bing bong bong bing bong. It's okay.
You have absolutely no training
exactly.
as well.
Well, yeah, but like that, I just think of like a kid.
When I open up
it up on stage,
when I open up the hood of a car and I look at the engine, I don't know where to begin either.
There you go. Where's the alternator, David? Where do you find? Where do you get your oil from?
So you and I, Mr. Bingus, were looking at WeinbagZ music NFTs before the show, and they were super dope.
Right, so, which he spoke about earlier, putting those together, and those
I
are
missed
fantastic.
That. I missed that.
Yeah,
I was
clearly
over here dealing with it, and I still want to know.
Clearly, well, but we can kind of get into that with this, which is how did you kind of transition into the Web3 NFT space, and what was the impetus for you kind of deciding to put music together with art in this way?
Yeah, I mean, I had my friend sort of telling me about NFTs for a bit, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really confusing. And like I was up until that point, like during COVID, I was putting a lot of time into like just getting teaching myself how to mix and properly enough to like get my own music to a place where I could just send it off to a mastering engineer and have it be ready. And So I was just spending a lot of time producing, and he was telling me about this. I'm like, yeah, I don't have the time to do that really. Like it didn't seem like anything I was really that interested in. And then I have another friend, Pop Wonder, who is also a Portland guy, and I saw that he made a couple like real sales with his art, and I was like, oh wow, he's actually making money doing that. I'm like, okay. And then there was a time, and it was like February of 2020 or 21, where we lost power in our house for like a week, and we ended up. It was just like a shitty ice storm, and we ended up staying with my sister-in-law. And I just remember watching some videos there because I didn't really have anything to do, and I just started watching like what NFTs were. And then my friend who had initially told me about it, Rowan, he sent me a link to Clubhouse, or an invite to Clubhouse. And I got on there and just started listening while I was like, doing my chores or like walking dog. And yeah, like the more I listened, the more I realized like the possibilities of what smart contracts could do. And I sort of saw that it might be the future. And plus there was like some big money being thrown around. I'm like, man, I was sort of thinking like, what is really going to happen? Like if I try to like be a producer and I release a bunch of shit on Spotify, best case scenario, I get millions of plays and still probably can't make enough to feed myself by myself. Like that.
Yeah, no, millions will get you about $3.
Yeah. So it's like, I was like, oh, this is actually an opportunity to maybe make some real money doing this. And I was like, fuck, I'm all in. And I'm like super excited about like new tech, and Async was actually one of the first platforms I really found. And just like the way that they utilize the tech, I was like, oh, this is really new and innovative, and like I want to be a part of that. So that was sort of like what got me going down it.
I looked into Async. So my question, because I was looking at some of their like back end stuff with the agreement and whatnot, and it said that they can use the tunes though that you essentially mint on their platform in sort of whatever way they wanted, which I was confused by. Are they trying to use that just for like the same way that like OpenSea puts a certain collection at the top just to like give them that shout out? Is like that it, or do you know if they actually have some rights to be able to use that music? Because that was one of the parts of the contract I did not understand with Async.
To my understanding, that is for advertising, but again, I would not be the person to fully answer that, so you might want to actually I can sort of like find that out though.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's not. I'm not. I'll DYOR. You know what I mean?
Well, since you're talking about all of the benefits of entering the space as a musician, I feel like this is the perfect time to reset the room, since we haven't really gotten an opportunity to do that with all the technical difficulties we've been having today. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us again and again, and sticking with us through all of this stuff today. We are Sapo Studios. Our goal is to bring the majority of profits and ownership rights back into the hands of musicians. We operate under the umbrella of the Notorious Frog NFT project, aka Frogland. Do your own research, but get involved, goddammit! We have plans to unveil a marketplace where you can buy and sell stems and do a whole lot more, but until then, we're jamming, chatting it up with artists about music, life, and NFTs. Today we have WeinbagZ with us. Thank you so much for joining us, WeinbagZ.
Really quick, I wanted to get into something as well.
Absolutely.
I wanted to get into something as well with you, because before Bingus over here reset the room, as he always does, like a Rumble announcer. Oh, you ready to Rumble? That's what I always get the vibe from. I love it. But,
I could have done it like that, but I didn't.
Yeah, next time you should definitely do it like that. But so in the sense of what you're saying, being able to feed yourself and actually make a buck or two off of sort of your art. At the end of the day, people buy music and albums because they love that artist and they support that artist at its core, and they don't even do it in hopes of a flip. You know what I mean? So for musicians, if you truly can, or like build and have a core fan base of not hundreds of thousands, but maybe a few hundred or even 1,000 approximately, if you can do that and get your music to a point where they just simply want it and appreciate it, and also maybe if you do allow them to remix it and have a little bit of the rights to that and have some fun with those tunes, that may be something that I don't think it's coming soon, but in the long run, I think that is one of the greatest things about the NFT space for music is the simple fact that musicians can be supported by their core fans and like their OG fan base. Because again, that's what it's all about. You want the people who love you to support you anyways, not the people that want to try to make a buck off you, like all these labels, right?
100%, and that's something I'm also really interested in, and something that I'm like planning out for my next sort of big drop is it's going to be like a generative music thing where, you know, every piece minted is a unique mix, and I'm going to be giving people like the rights to those compositions. I'm still trying to figure out all the legal details in terms of like I still want to retain ownership of like the original stems, and there's some gray area in terms of
there's a lot of gray area.
Yeah, when you get into like the publishing and the master rights and like, but my goal is to give people like rights to the composition that they mix, and hopefully do something cool with it. That's sort of the goal right now. I'm talking with a lawyer and figuring out what makes the most sense in terms of that. But that is something I'm very interested in doing. So,
are most of your musical compositions individual compositions, or do you do some collaborations?
I have done some collaborations, but most of them are just me. And for this project, actually, though, since it is like generative in nature, where it's, you know, just a bunch of stems mixing together in different ways, I'm having other people like submit, you know, stems for it. So this will be, you know, mostly me, but there will be some stems from other people, both in Web3 and not. So
that's awesome, and you'll have to let us know about that when that drops, so that we can definitely promote that for you and you know,
hell yeah,
support our fellow artists.
Yeah, I mean, that concept in and of itself, sort of where you're bringing in other people to collaborate and then building something with a generative piece of music. I don't see many people doing that yet, which is interesting to me. I mean, I've seen a couple projects, but there's not like a ton of them out there, essentially, that are building music like that. But
and that's essentially the vein of what we're trying to do here.
Correct.
You know, bring artists together, bring the stems together from all different collaborators, and be able to create new music, to be able to,
which actually you led.
Well, can I ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask about, like, so I knew about Frogland way back in the day. Like, people were sort of promoting it in a like Clubhouse and stuff, but like what exactly is like, what are you doing? Like, what is the thing?
This is the first time that somebody's actually asked this question. Who wants to answer this? I'll answer it.
So essentially, you know, Frogland is building a metaverse. They've got an insane team of people that were on the flagship team that created PlayStation Home, people that worked on Disney, the Harry Potter films, and
Star Wars.
And yeah, so this powerhouse team is coming together to not only build a metaverse, but build out this whole NFT project. They have paired with, or we have paired with them, to create Sapo Studios, which is our goal is to be an interactive space for musicians, to be able to collaborate, to be able to pass stems along, to buy and sell stems, to create new music, to be able to retain the ownership rights that you wouldn't get if you were signed to a label, and to be able to promote that music in a way that you can actually make a career out of being a musician.
I mean, a similar example of it would be like kind of like the Web3 of Splice in a way. Like, there's a lot of different elements added to this, and Royal.io, that essentially, if you wanted to flip it for both sides, for an investor as well as like a collector, that's a person that's just a diehard fan of this artist, you know, if you can figure out, which Blau did, shout out to Blau, he figured out with Royal.io how to fractionalize an album. So essentially, you would take 25% or whatever you want of the album's total royalties, put that into an NFT project. It could be 5 items, it could be 500, 5,000, whatever. But essentially, the total amount of those NFTs equals that 25% of those royalties. So now you're flipping it for not only like a fan to be like, yo, I support you, I love you, yada, 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 but now you're also giving this opportunity for investors who are looking to do this, and you still retain, as the artist, the majority rights of that music and are able to fund your career, you know, do all that good stuff. Also, you know, finding placement for your music as well is another huge huge aspect of what we want to do. Is we know certain bands that have been able to find distribution on TV shows and all that good stuff, and we're like watching Shameless. I'm like, holy shit, that's Naked Elephant. Yeah. So just interesting connections. Essentially, building a platform that allows everyone to utilize these resources that are put in place for them to do so.
That's very cool, and it's really cool to see, because going back to when I first started this stuff, I used to host these sort of audio NFT rooms on Clubhouse, and there were not any music. It wasn't a thing, and so to see all these things sort of popping up is really exciting.
Well, that's what's wild.
That's really cool.
That's what's wild about NFTs. Honestly, it's out of all the issues with art and music, comparatively speaking, I think music has more problems that can be solved with smart contracts than actual art. Mind you, yes, it does help with art and authenticity and being able to track things and giving.
The biggest thing was the royalties.
Yes,
that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
All right,
but I think it is such an interesting thing that that's kind of where my brain went when I, maybe not immediately when I heard about NFTs, but within that first year in 2020, my brain was okay, how do we start breaking down songs into stems to figure out how to make that make sense for artists? And then it started to become a thing and be holy shit, this could essentially revolutionize the music industry. It could revolutionize...
Oh, I think it will.
Yes. The way that... Because this whole lure and this whole sort of veil that I feel like the industry holds over the artist is that you need to have millions and millions of followers and to be successful. But we've kind of thought about it on our own, pen and paper, and said, maybe if you had 1,500 fans.
Well, it's also about what your
True
measure
fans.
of success is, right? Because there's people that are happy
be able to feed yourself.
But there are people that are happy just being able to feed themselves, and if they can do that while creating their art, they're happy. There are other people that would like to make a comfortable living, and then there are other people that want to make an extraordinary living. So it's based on your metric of success. But I think what you're talking about, ASAP, what we've kind of discussed and figured out is more on that level of a comfortable living as an artist. That's not, not glamorous, but you can make an actual living, and this can be a career.
But then essentially, you depending on how much work you do with these tools, you could accelerate.
It could turn into something else.
Yes,
next level,
and that being an accelerator, let's say.
Absolutely.
Let's get WeinbagZ opinion on that. We're just having a fucking internal debate over here.
I mean, for me, I don't really need much. I will feel successful once I have my own fleet of private jets, and that's I think that's a pretty good measure of success.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, private jets too. I want at least 5.
Yeah.
And
do you want to be able to afford the fuel as well? Because that's probably more expensive than the jets.
Obviously.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I would take fuel. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
If we're dreaming up success, then sure, put it on there.
They do say shoot for the moon, so I like that. I like that you just went.
You need a lot of fuel to get.
I need 5 G5 so I can fly high. You know what I mean? That's the next song.
Exactly. I don't think that's asking too much either.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I think Beyonce has 12 or something like that, probably. So.
And I think the real
I'd
thing.
be fine with half of that. That's totally cool.
Okay, so I want to backtrack really randomly because I just looked over at my notepad and I had written something down when we were listening to your song,
You have a notepad,
I
Dingus?
do. I keep track of some stuff.
That's
I've
crazy.
never seen you write a note.
Never. Yeah. So one of the lyrics in your song was, I can't give it up for you if you won't give it up for me. Which I love that sentiment. You have to kind of reciprocate things in order for there to be a working relationship of any sort. But can you put that in context for us? Is that for you? Was that a relationship thing on a romantic level? Was that a business thing? Where was that coming from?
I'm not gonna lie. All of my lyrics are I just sit down and I'm there's no intention behind any of my lyrics.
Same.
I've been married for 6 years. That has nothing to do with my relationship but there are people that, I guess like business wise.
He's like, if my wife is listening, I did not intend for that to be directed at us at all.
I love my wife very much. She is in the room, and hello,
Miss WeinbagZ.
I just don't. The lyrics part has never been huge for me. It's just like I sort of just sit down and I just like spew out shit, and then I'm like, did that work or not? And maybe I massage it a little bit, but
it definitely works. But let me ask you, if the music is what's more important to you, and that's kind of more of what you feel when you sit down, why do you feel that you need the lyrics at all? Like, couldn't they be instrumental tracks, or do you feel that it's lacking if it doesn't have some lyric on it?
I mean, I do have some instrumental tracks, but no, I definitely, and I like, again, like I like lyrics because it's something you can sort of sing back, and I don't know. I think there are people that don't really want to listen to something without lyrics, and I get that, and I don't know.
No, I
don't honestly know exactly how to answer that, but
well, I
think
I'll tell you, even without intention, I enjoyed your lyrics, and that's kind of the cool thing about art too, and something that we've discussed in the past is that everyone can kind of assign their own meaning to a piece and find that connection for themselves, and see it on their own level. So even if you didn't intend for something, I definitely took something from it and read into it in my own way, and that's kind of cool. Things can transcend in that way.
One of my favorite bands growing up was Fish, and their lyrics are so fucking stupid, but like people love it, and it's like they're nonsensical and like So I guess I sort of took a page from that book, sort of.
Didn't they have a song called like Jaboo or something, and it was like all nonsense.
I was actually laughing in my car last night listening to Fish.
Were you really?
Yes, and I was thinking about you, Bingus, when You Enjoy Myself came on. I don't know if you know that song.
That's a great tune.
WeinbagZ. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't even want to try to say the words that they're saying at the end. It's hilarious.
But why did I cross your mind when that song came on?
Just the way they're saying it.
It sounded silly, like something I would do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Figures.
They actually played at the Forum where I work, and their show was amazing.
They're unbelievable musicians.
Yeah, they're musical geniuses, and they jump on trampolines during You Enjoy Myself in unison, which is
it's 1 o'clock.
Super cool.
Yeah,
it's
but
1 o'clock.
Yep. If you didn't know, it's 1 o'clock. But yeah, I mean, they're a band that like you have to love their stuff because every song is like 17 hours long.
I have listened to very little Fish, so you guys are. I think we have Shia Papoose actually pulling up a little sample here because we're getting so deep into the ocean that we're listening to some Fish right now. So let's take a listen to this really quick, so I get a taste of some Fish, and we'll go from there.
And you could see him jump on the trampolines. I'll just fast forward to.
Very good.
The audience can't see that, but sure.
I'll describe it to you guys.
It is.
Thank you guys so much. So great to be back.
Let me just go ahead.
Is this at the Forum?
No.
So for those of you that don't listen to Fish, they're very much like a jam band, if you've heard that term, and they like to just live jam all of their songs. So like their songs literally turn into like 20-minute, 30-minute songs.
Yeah, think just like a 3-hour guitar solo, and that's like what they're showing.
Right.
Yeah, from Trey Anastasio, who is, again, a musical genius.
Right. Well, and in true jam band fashion, I mean, their shows are just like, everyone at their show is on LSD, mushrooms, just like tripping their face off while they listen to these.
Like, this song has been playing for 4 years.
Yep.
Oh man, I actually have some great footage that I was pretending to film selfie of myself, but I was actually filming people worming around behind me at the Fish concert. Man, it was so good. But yeah, it was these lyrics, David, that made me laugh and think about you.
Doxing me again. Yep, I could see myself doing that.
What are they even saying?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
boy, man.
And that's the thing. Like when when there's no intention behind the lyrics, you don't need to know what they're saying.
Man.
It's just.
Do you know what they're
Exactly.
saying? Do you know what they're saying,
Vibe.
Winebags?
I don't think anybody does.
Yes. So really quick, Weinbagz, I have to ask because we ask every artist that comes on here.
The sauce.
Here
The
he goes.
sauce.
Here he goes. I
The
knew it was
sauce.
coming.
I love sauce.
You really do.
We need to get a
You're
sauce.
obsessed.
We need to get a sauce sound. Yeah, we're gonna get a sauce sound. Yeah.
There you go.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That is not
Too
it.
much.
Okay, so
Okay.
the sauce, as we describe it, is essentially where the artist either pulls from or finds this inspiration, or maybe even the samples that you're gathering.
It's that secret thing that makes the music special to you.
Yours, yes.
What is your sauce?
Mine particularly.
Yours particularly. Yeah, flavor too if you have it.
Flavor too.
Chipotle, Southern
Buffalo,
Chipotle.
for sure,
I like
for
that.
sauce,
There
but-
we go.
In terms of like my music, I mean, I draw a lot on like I'm really into synthesis, like subtractive synthesis, and like I don't know a lot about FM synthesis, but I love the way that FM synths sound. So really diving into like synths, and also I use a lot of vocoder, you know, and so that is definitely part of it. But man, I don't know. I like really dense chords with like a lot of extensions on them. Like that's just that sound. I love it, and I love it when there's not necessarily like a set tonal center, and that's just like constantly changing. So that's another thing I tend to gravitate towards. Maybe to my detriment, because I think, you know, unless you're like jazz, then that stuff might not be like pleasing to everybody. But that is something that I tend to.
However,
like in music.
I almost feel like jazz is being plugged into the mainstream now in a weird way. It started, well, I don't know if it started with, but for me, the first time I heard it kind of brought over was Kendrick Lamar's album. I think it was To Pimp a Butterfly. And that whole album is like, it's like hardcore jazz in the background.
Chicago jazz
it was amazing. And there's like, you know, almost like slam poetry over it, and then rapping, and it was like wild to hear that, you know.
Yeah, and the players on that too. I mean, I'm pretty sure like Chris Dave is on that, and like a bunch of like I think Thundercat, and like I think Flying Lotus like produced a bunch of those tracks. So like that is a great example, and like I'm a huge fan of that like sort of genre, like niche of hip hop, and even just music in
so
general.
and that's kind of why I was bringing it up. Just like, you know, you don't have to feel bad about leaning into the jazz, maybe, because it's making that revival.
Well, and also that's interesting too, kind of what you said, the niche aspect of it, because this is going to sound weird, but I used to dabble in SEO, search engine optimization. So the keywords and key phrases that you choose,
Super weird, man.
Super weird.
And essentially, it makes it easy if you choose something more unique. Instead of like you choose like shirt, you choose like, I don't know, fucking top, or like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That's a bad example. Whatever. The hat, you use cap. There's your example.
This is weird. This is weirder than you saying you did SEO.
You're competing with less people, so it's like in my mind, you're almost like you're
Bringing jazz into the equation gives you that niche aspect, and you're competing with less people.
It's like you're competing with even I know that the music industry is massive, obviously, with people trying to get their sounds out there, but I think that by having a more unique sound to it, you almost stand out easier amongst a greater crowd. That's what all that was about. So I'm sorry, it was weird. But
always a mouthful from you.
it was weird. That's good. We need to just record that, and anytime something is weird, just weird.
Yeah. So we need a weird button and we need a sauce button.
Yeah, there we go. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, then, Weinbagz?
Yeah,
You got
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. I mean, for me, as somebody who sort of has like studied jazz, and there's a certain level of like harmonic. What is the word I'm looking for? Like the harmonic, like sophistication, or just like understanding that when I hear music like that, like I appreciate it. I guess for me, music has to have interesting harmonic things going on, or I get really bored. And that's the same with like electronic music. Like if there's just like a static thing with no sort of changes over it. I'm just like, I need like some cool harmonic movement. And Fish was actually great with that. Like their earlier music was super like prog rocky and just like weird ass changes that I like it. It's
their transitions were like unbelievable.
Do you listen?
How do I do that?
Do you listen to Tom Meach by any chance?
Yeah, I love Tom Meach.
Tom Meach is a beast in that sense of that jazzy feel to him as well, but that like new wave stuff. Or FKJ, French Kiwi Juice. Do you know who he is?
I listen to FKJ, not as much though. I'm a huge Tom Meach fan. FKJ, I like about half the stuff, and it's great though. Like it's great music.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, James Blake is sort of like where that my like route into that sort of more, I guess, vibey type of music started. But his vocals and like what he builds, I've seen him at a live show, and it's incredible, man. So I love that type of retro, those styles of music.
As a keyboardist, are you a big fan of Yes by any chance?
Actually, yeah. So the last band, one of the bands that I played with in Portland, we used to play. What's the one song that they're like Roundabout, yeah. And that was like one of the harder keyboard parts I've ever had to learn because it's really, especially on the chorus, it's just really, really fast arpeggios and like really. But yeah, I like Yes, but it's also like I don't know their catalog very well.
That's fair. It made me think of it when you were talking about these, interesting changes in the music. There's a song called Mind Drive. That everyone should check out that's listening to the space right now. It's off a very niche album. We're using the word niche again. Niche. Of theirs called Keys to Ascension. You'll find it on YouTube. It's an 18-minute song, Mind Drive, by Yes.
Jesus Christ.
But it's wild because it's almost like it's got a very rock opera feel to it in the sense that it's like you go on this journey and there's movements in the piece. And it goes through these different movements, and it's wild, and it's an experience, and you should definitely.
Yeah, that sounds right
up
my alley.
That reminds me of like old school like classical music. Like I know this is going to be weird as well with Beethoven and Bach. Like
that's what I was referring to in terms of movements. Like they had those, yes,
like how the flutes continue up, and then you get to like the drums,
the crescendo,
and all that good stuff. Like that's what that reminds me of when you say that, like a journey of the music, and that's classical in that way, but also it's fun to see how that can be, I guess, applied to a new sound of tunes and whatnot, rather than flutes and drums and whatnot. So.
Yeah, but no, Yes is definitely one of those bands that went on those journeys all the time with their music, and I love their shit.
I have a question. Being a man of the ivories, WeinbagZ, do people often ask you, "Hey, can you play piano, man?"
Oh, no, but that reminds me of I used to have a David Cross book, and it was like a collection of sort of short, funny things, and one of the things in there was an essay titled "What I Would Be Thinking If I Was Billy Joel Driving to a Party with a Piano," and it's hilarious.
David Cross is the best. That's so weird, like the way things work, because I was actually watching David Cross sketches last night. David Cross was on
Fish last night.
You were listening to Fish.
David
I'm
Cross
watching David Cross.
Weinbagz
David Cross was
ready for Sapo Saturdays, and here we are.
David Cross was on a show with Bob Odenkirk back in the day that you can access. The best sketch show ever. And so I was watching some of that, and it's just David Cross.
Which skits can I ask?
The Audition. I was showing some people.
I don't know if I remember that one.
I was showing somebody that had never seen their stuff.
That's like the first one you show everybody. Yeah, that's the first one you showed me.
That one is basically David Cross going in for an audition, and the piece that he's using for the audition is titled "The Audition." And the guys that are auditioning him don't know if it's like still part of the audition or if they should be like responding to him. So he's like, "Can I use this
and he
chair?"
keeps like asking them.
Yeah, he's like, "Can I use this chair?" And they're like, "Sure." He's like, "No, please. This is my audition. Yeah, stop." And they're like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "Can I use this chair?" Well, can I? Well, answer me, damn it. And then they do, and he's like, "No, come on, guys. I'm trying to do my audition."
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's so good.
Well, and they did such great stuff with repetition. the story of Everest.
The story of Everest is one of my favorites.
Oh my god, yeah. That I was laughing my nuts off last
People
night.
that have no idea what we're talking about right now are like, what the hell are these guys talking
to reiterate, this is a show called Mr. Show with Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. You can find it on HBO.
It's hilarious.
It's the best sketch show of all time, definitely.
All right, let's get back into some music chat though. Here, did we get any?
I think we have a couple other tracks.
That's what I was
short. But
Yeah, let's pull up another WeinbagZ track.
Which one would you like us to play, WeinbagZ?
Which one would I like to? There's one that's either one. I don't know. Let's say Dealer's Choice, I guess.
all right, this one's called DBs.
All right, here's WeinbagZ with DBs.
I'm so heckin' cute. I wanna hack it with you. Do you wanna hack with me? I'm just a cute little DB. I'm so heckin' cute. I'm so heckin' cute. I wanna hack it with you.
So that one is actually that's the only like not full length track I sent you, but that was one I did for an NFT where I actually used to buy PFPs just so I could animate them and then make derivative works off of them. So that was actually a collection.
That's awesome.
My friends
dope,
at
dude.
Nifty Castle did called the DBs. So that was
Even in that short amount of time, there's little transitions. I love it.
Yeah,
You
super
know?
cool.
And drops. It's sick.
All right, so why don't you play that other one?
Yes. This is called Get a Drink.
That was dope.
That was a head bobber. I would
Yeah,
I was
and
bobbing my head.
so super cool. And
broke my
what
neck,
it
man.
what it reminded me of was like those '90s video games, like Road Rash or some shit like that, where you're just like riding a motorcycle. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like Sega Genesis back in the day.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, I don't know if you got video game vibes when you were creating that track, but that definitely has video game vibes for me.
I want to shoot a chase scene to that or something, man. I shoot video and edit. And that
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely heavily inspired by old video game music, but that track specifically I was referencing. One of my favorite albums is by a guy called Todd Terje. It's called It's Album Time, and there's a song called DeLorean Dynamite that has that same sort of like 16th note synth bass that's just sort of going through the whole thing, and like the synth pads are very similar. So that was sort of like my inspiration for that one specifically. And whole album.
Can you say that again? Todd Terje, and what was it?
The album.
Terje. It's so it's Todd Terje, and then the album is called It's Album Time. And actually, the song that like I sort of was referencing for that one is called DeLorean Dynamite.
That name, DeLorean Dynamite, man.
Vegas loves the DeLorean.
I do. I'm a big Back to the Future fan. I actually, I'm weird, weird, and I have a flux capacitor tattoo from Back to the Future.
It's like as if it's like he's plugged into it.
Yeah.
So we get him going 88, bro.
You know. Watch out.
Just got to figure out how we get you.
That's amazing.
88 miles per hour. You have to run.
I think we need to actually like post your tattoo here, David.
Yeah, I don't know. You keep calling me David. I don't like that. Sorry. I'm Bingus Frog. We're doing a podcast though, right?
I'm sorry, man. I haven't seen you in a while. I
haven't
haven't seen your face in a while. You've been in Jamaica.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Let's let everyone know who we are. So let's reset the room here. We are Sapo Studios. Our goal is to bring the majority of profits and ownership rights. Big Easy does it with the Back to the Future music there. Okay. Our goal is to bring the majority of profits and ownership rights back into the hands of musicians. We operate under the umbrella of the Notorious Frog NFT project, a.k.a. Frogland. Do your own research, but get involved! We have plans to unveil a marketplace where you can buy and sell stems and do a whole lot more. But until then, we're jamming, chatting it up with artists about music, life, and NFTs. How was that?
That was pretty good. That was timed out really well. You hit. What are your thoughts, WeinbagZ?
Oh, that was incredible. The music, it all lined up too to make this really glorious sort of futuristic. We're just looking towards the future right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Pioneers.
Sapo Studios, man. Web 3.
Let's go.
Well, that's
Frogland.
That's also something too, man. If like there's anything that we can help with, or vice versa, that you can help us with, you know what I mean? I'd love to have a chat with you.
To keep this conversation going, and I think if you're amenable to it, I think ASAP should shoot some sort of a chase scene with your music because that would be dope.
Yeah, you guys want to act in it and need some actors?
I am always open to chat. Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah!
All right, we're just gonna go rent a really fast car.
Yeah. Really fast car.
Drive it really, really slow.
Let's go ahead and
like we're
Easy
fast.
Does it there. Let's open this up to questions to the audience. If anyone wants to come up and say anything, ask anything to WeinbagZ while we have his time right now. He's been generous enough to stay with us for over an hour. Really appreciate you, WeinbagZ, and we're going to let you go here soon before we start a little jam.
Oh, yeah, no, appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure, and we're gonna hop into a little jam session here on our end in just a minute, but did want to give anyone in the audience an opportunity to come up and speak. So if any of y'all want to say anything, now is the time.
It's now or never, you guys. It's kind of like...
And here, but why don't you pop up that Back to the Future music and give some inspiration to the crowd out there. Feel this.
You want me to give him a speech?
No, I don't want you to give him a speech. Just everyone feel this right now. Find it within yourself to raise your hand. Come on up and speak. Now's the time.
Who's got something to say?
God, I forgot how good of a soundtrack.
Lobo, you got something to say, man?
Wow,
is this John Williams? Who did the soundtrack to Back to the Future?
I can look that up right now. It was an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, this is so grand. Like, it's just great. It makes you feel like a triumphant moment,
On YouTube, it says QWWAZR.
Like an epic
Alan Silvestri.
Ah, good old Alan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not familiar with Alan.
Yeah, no, Alan's cool.
Alan did a great job. Maybe he got blacklisted after he made this for whatever reason.
All right. Well, that's cool. No one wants to come up. That's fine.
I think people left when you said that. Actually.
Really?
Yeah, that was like almost like you motivated them to leave this space more than anything.
Scared them.
We have a request.
Oh, there it goes.
Look at that. Oh, I believe
All right, let's bring back the
mute.
Let's bring back the music.
It's the one and only.
Oh man. All right.
Anthony, what's going on?
Anthony, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hey. I just had to come up here because as a Notorious Frog founder, a Sapos fan, I also had the pleasure of working with Bob Zemeckis.
Wow.
Along with Bugs. Yeah, but Bugs actually worked directly with him on stage. I did his camera work. But anyway, it's a fantastic movie, one of the best ever. If you want to learn how to write a screenplay, break that movie down.
Yeah, it's awesome. One of my favorites, and that's unbelievable that y'all worked with Zemeckis. Like,
that's so awesome.
Just ridiculous.
That is amazing.
Yeah, we were flying down to LA so much that we knew the Southwest attendants by first name because all we did was drink on the plane.
I like to drink on planes too, man.
See, if you didn't think the Frogland team was cool already, are you guys hearing this? I mean, worked with Zemeckis, knew the flight attendants by first name because they're drinking on the plane. You guys hearing this?
So
hilarious.
When Bingus says, do your own research, but get involved, he's not fucking around.
I'm not fucking around. I'm never fucking around.
Good people, good vibes, and making good moves over here. What are you doing today?
I'm hanging out listening with you guys, making some Thanksgiving lists and working on the next Frogland release.
Looking forward to it.
One of our games.
Yes.
And would love to get some of your tunes in here too. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, we're gonna make some tunes today. We're gonna do a little jam session here in a minute.
Okay.
And
let's
we'll
ask
see.
as well. Are there any specific vibes that you guys are looking for?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Back to the Future.
Well, I was really loving WeinbagZ's almost retro gamey sound.
Yeah.
And the opening level, which we haven't completed yet, so I'm gonna spill alpha that isn't even done yet. So in true NFT fashion.
Oh.
You may be escaping from a UFO.
Ooh.
So it might need some wave, dark wave and or a little bit of 80s vibe there.
Maybe we get WeinbagZ involved.
Now let's imagine a UFO running.
What exactly? What would this look like? What goes on?
Oh, okay. Think about a turbocharged version of Frogger meets some mobile games in that form. So this is a mini game where you take your frog, your NFT frog, and you race it down the track and try to survive.
It just sounds cool. You explaining it over the music. Keep going, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. So here's the thing: frogs DNA come from Earthling frogs, right? And then the alien species injects the DNA to create our current Notorious Frogs in New Pangea. And so you, as this frog, need to escape before you get caught and anal probed and extracted.
See, and I love that the game isn't just a bullshit game where you're incorporating. No, it's not just they're incorporating the character from the NFT project, but there's lore that's tied into the game, which that's fucking awesome. It's everything you guys do is so thought out. It's wonderful.
Well, we're storytellers, just like you guys. So.
Yeah.
So is this built within the Frogland metaverse, or how is it part of that?
Yeah. So to build a metaverse, you have to kind of build it piece by piece, like a song, right? And you can't just come up with some killer hit that everyone loves right away. You have to build upon your stems. So think of these little mini games as technology stems that we're putting down. To figure out either the tokenomics or the NFT loading or whatever it may be. So for this first release, Internally, we call it frogduction, but we also call it crossy toad. We're not sure which one goes yet. We like frogduction. But the point of it is to hammer out some tech that Address down there is working on, and a few other of our frogs. And then we release it to alpha to the community, and they play it, and we do some learnings, and everyone has a lot of fun, and it kind of keeps the project going. And in this case, it has two very primary reasons. One is to figure out some of this early tech, and two, to bridge the story between the trailer of Frogland and how biomes come to be. So that's nice. The kind of the point of this little mini game.
That's awesome. And I mean, essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's also, doing it the way that you're doing it, it's kind of bringing Web 2 into Web 3 in a nice way that like people can digest, so to speak. You're starting off in a Web 2 space, and then you'll be moving into this whole metaverse experience that you're building.
I mean, that's how everything has to start right now, for the most part. There's no actual. I mean, other than the metaverse. We're in a metaverse right now, technically, but this is a very basic metaverse in this way. But in a sense, like
we can exactly like we consider a metaverse a place where people discuss and create and enjoy life and their alternate realities. And so, this is all part of it. No one realizes it yet, but someday they'll realize that all these pieces will come together.
Bro, I see it just in kids already. Like, I'm sorry, literally, I see kids hanging out on Fortnite. They're not even doing anything. They're just chilling. They're just literally under a tree.
Let me ask you there, Doc Froggleday. Where are you watching kids hanging out on
YouTube,
Fortnite?
Yeah, YouTube University, baby. That's where I get all my goods from. That's my sauce.
Wow. Well, we know what you're doing with your spare time now. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that.
Also, it's also just because my fiance's younger brother, like, and what he does, he plays Fortnite and stuff like that, and he'll tell me,
okay, that's acceptable.
I looked it up though. He's like, yeah, a lot of people do it, and I was like, where? And I didn't look it up. He showed me it, so I was like, okay, here, and then
you should lead with that.
So
next
technically,
time.
I didn't do the research. The research was handed.
No, that's
by
fine.
A child,
that's fine.
So
you should lead with that next time.
It makes a lot more
good.
sense.
Very
makes
good.
more sense.
Yeah, I got it straight from the source. Though.
I do have a question though. I do have a question for WeinbagZ. What is what's in your musical stack? How did you make that last track? If you can reveal, you revealed some of the inspiration, but is it a soft synth? What's your DAW of choice? Do you use any analogs, or is it all digital? What's going on underneath the hood?
Questions.
There? Yeah. So I for that one, it was all soft synths. I do have a Prophet, which I use on some stuff, but it depends on what I'm going for.
For people that don't really know the terminology, if you could break everything down. So what's a Prophet?
Oh yeah, so a Prophet is a hardware keyboard. It's made by Dave Smith Instruments. It's just like a digital analog synth. But
cool.
And then soft synth is just like a plug-in or like a plug-in.
Yep.
Synth. So I use a lot of Serum, which is a soft synth. I use Vital. I have a couple of the Arturia soft synths. I use Logic as my DAW of choice, and with that one, I think most of it was done with Serum, I believe. Nice. And then I have a Rhodes too, and so the Rhodes you hear on there is my actual Rhodes.
I thought I heard some traveling transient sounds like a Serum like in there. What do you think of the Minilog versus the Prophet? Are they're relatively analogous, aren't they? Or is it Prophet?
I don't know. I mean, I know that they're both like subtractive synthesis. I haven't really tried the Minilog. I don't think I've ever actually played one.
Got it.
And do you prefer Logic over Pro Tools just because you've been using it for as long as you have, or is there something that draws you to one program over the other?
Yeah, I mean, with Logic, I actually started out on Ableton and used it for a long time, and the reason I switched to Logic was I actually got hired to do this composition project, and the people that hired me were using Logic, so I sort of had to learn it. And by the time I was done with that, my workflow was so down in it that I just don't want to change because I've got it where I can move around it very quickly.
Yeah,
but also for Pro Tools, to my understanding, I've never used it, but it also doesn't seem great. It seems like a better one for mixing, but not necessarily producing. And I could be totally wrong about that. That was just sort of the vibe I got.
I kind of feel the same way as well.
Well, and
Ableton's kind of like driving a Ferrari with a monkey wrench for a steering wheel, and using your toe on the carburetor, right? It's like it's super powerful, but every time I get into it, it's like I forget. I have to relearn it all.
Yeah, I think each one, they all sort of do the same things, but again, Ableton for me, like if I was performing live and using like loops and stuff, I wouldn't use Logic. Like Logic just does not have that functionality. Like Ableton is definitely king for live, and even for producing. I think Ableton has some pros over Logic, but I'm just my workflow is so down on Logic that I don't want to switch at this point.
Sense.
But yeah,
and I think that loops back to like any form of art. To like, there's just a certain line that you get to that it doesn't matter like necessarily what tool, it's just how you use it.
It's so funny that you should say that, because what I was thinking
was fun.
Dave Length.
Dave Length. I was thinking that this translated to, and you can tell me if I'm totally off base here, but didn't you get hired for certain projects and either you were using Final Cut and then you had to change to Premiere or vice versa, and it's that same kind of like thing where
it was just my workflow was down so tightly to Final Cut that it just made sense to, for certain projects, like the whole project eventually just moved over to that.
Yep.
Because, like, to WeinbagZ point, it's just what works for you best.
Right.
And the way you can manipulate something quickly.
Yeah.
Opposed to, like, learning.
And the tools... Yeah,
yes.
I mean, all these tools essentially do the same thing. It's just different workflows,
Right.
Exactly.
That's a good point. All right, boys. Well,
Anthony, thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
And WeinbagZ, thank you for being with us here today and giving us so much of your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad that I found out, like, sort of about what you, because it's hard for me to keep up with everything, but I definitely want to learn more about what you guys are building, and like would love to connect more through beyond this. So
yeah, man.
I think we should definitely continue the conversation. I think we should talk about what some of your music might do in the Frogland universe, because I think there might be something there.
I was about to say that. I was going to say maybe we can set up a little bit of a Rochambeau meeting with the team and whatnot, and essentially
let's do it.
See if you guys can't work something out to see your tunes be used on a new like Web3 video game. That'd be pretty sick. But that being said, we appreciate your time, and we're going to get into a jam session, so WeinbagZ, we understand if you need to get going, but if you want to do some chores and keep us on in the background, that's okay with us.
I will probably switch to listening, and I do have my Saturday chores, but
nice.
I appreciate you having me on, and let's definitely connect and talk more, because always stoked to see people building in the Web3 music space. So let's go.
Just really appreciate you responding and all that once I reached out, because definitely like once I was in all those spaces and saw your name keep popping up and you had some really great things to say, I figured we needed you to come be a part of this thing, man. So greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Also, thanks for still coming back after we got rugged too.
Yeah. That's a whole thing too.
Oh man, yeah. It's I've been there as a host. It sucks. So I appreciate you reopening it, and I appreciate you asking me on.
Well, it was meant to happen. There's a lot of Dave lengths going on here today, and I was watching this or I was listening to that. So
between Fish and David Cross,
I'm glad we prevailed. Okay, so next time we'll be here is next Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard
We're not going anywhere right now.
I know.
Relax.
I'm letting everyone know what time we're going to be coming back. But for now, we're going to be jamming, chilling, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a freestyle session for a little bit.
Hell yeah! I'm going to hop down to listener, but let's talk soon.
Definitely.
Later.
Me too. Have a good one. I'll be listening.
Take care.
We'll connect WeinbagZ on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And everyone should go ahead and check out WeinbagZ stuff. We'll be promoting that on the Sapo Studios page. So right now, I want to get into a little jam session. And we're going to take just a 30-second break and play some music here so that we can set some stuff up. And then we'll get going with that. So just stay tuned. All right. So, I felt a moment of musical inspiration randomly. I was in my car the other day, and I had this musical idea, and I'm like, maybe we start a jam with this. So I went ahead and made a voice memo, like I'm some sort of big rock star over here with my next big hit. And
voice memo. I like that you can hear your blinker in the background. That you are in your car. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and play it.
Well, it's sort of James Blake-esque.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
He likes car blinkers.
Well, when he's like tapping on his keyboard sometimes, and you can hear the tap, he'll leave that in there.
Got it.
Duh.
Ding daddle ding daddle ding daddle ding 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 daddle ding daddle ding daddle ding ding ding.
Now, clearly, I'm a musical genius. No
Fire.
No one's thought of that riff yet.
Shit is fire.
So, I say we find that doon diddle doon on the keys over here.
We've just lost about five.
We lost
5 points of respect, right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say we lost all of our audience. Because
sometimes that's where you got to start is like your brain, and then you just gotta.
Maybe not my brain, but
you just gotta sing it out, man.
Yeah. So let's try to find that.
Oh, I do
on
that.
The keys.
What key is this in?
All right, hold on.
What key is it, man? all I did was ding diddle a ding into my phone. What do you want?
What key are we in?
This
though? Let's go, Bingus. I need to know the sauce.
We're in the key of ding. All right, ding dingle a ding.
Ding diddle ding ding diddle ding. That's
all
it,
right.
right?
Give me my keys here, man.
I got you, man. I got you. That is very funny, man. You were just driving and just popped up.
Yeah, I was like,
I
don't.
What inspired that? Did you see the ice cream guy walk past and his bell's like ding diddle ding?
No, I don't know. I was just it just came into my head. I was like, you know what? Let's we should probably have some sort of an idea, a jumping off point, maybe.
This is the jumping off point.
This is the jumping off point.
All right, kind of. Maybe will you ding diddle a ding for me out loud right now, and I'll kind of figure out like what the, because we got to find what the metronome would be. You know what I mean? So like we got to kind of count it out.
Okay,
so go for it. I'll pull up a little thing to tap out a metronome. All right, and go for it.
All right, so be like ding diddle a ding diddle a ding diddle a ding 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 diddle a ding diddle a ding diddle a ding ding.
Okay. So that's at around like 94. So let's.
Oh yeah, in your professional opinion.
No, I just tapped it out. That's what it. That's what it.
All right.
What it popped up to. So
all right.
Here, let's see.
Ding diddle ding diddle ding diddle ding.
Right, here, I'll put in a little drum. Let me put in a little drum set, so maybe it's easy to. All right.
A ding, diddle a ding,
right,
diddle a ding. Okay, so now we gotta find out the fucking.
Yeah, you got some keyboards now.
Oh, that sounds right.
You've always been able to just play by ear, which is interesting to me. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Okay.
What if you went down? Go a little lower.
Play it down here.
Yeah. Like the bass. It was like the bass line. Hold on.
Is that a trumpet
instead of a keyboard?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, here. Go ahead and record it. Wait.
Yeah. I think so.
Play it?
Yeah.
All right. That'll work. Then we can quantize that, all right?
It's supposed to start right at the top.
Yeah, so. Bum. Ready? Hold on. My bad.
That wasn't right. There it is. Okay, wait, let me do that again.
Got Bingus noodling on the keys over
Noodling
here.
around.
Ready?
Noodle.
Think that was it?
That was pretty smooth. That actually sounded like a song in the beginning for a moment there. The first couple.
That's so funny because
Bong,
like
ding,
5
da,
seconds
bong.
ago you were talking shit about my ding diggly
Well,
ding.
this isn't ding. This is bong. This is
Okay,
this
bing bingly bong.
It's bong, bottle of bong, bong, little bong. You know, that's it.
Did you quantize
I
it?
did.
Sorry, I
Add a little
was too
drop.
busy. I was too busy talking smack over here. Let me hear that. Okay. I like that.
It's got a vibe. It's good. It's a good jumping off point, I guess we could say.
Oh yeah. Now you like it?
If you would have told me that it was in like a D minor or something, I would have been like, makes sense.
Well,
I think it's actually C.
Well, no, this is the point, man. I'm not musically articulate like that, and that's what we're trying to show people.
I'm not either.
But that's what we're trying to show people, that like I don't have
you
to
could
be.
start out
I
with
can
some
still do
ding,
this.
ding,
Yeah, I can
dings.
start out with ding dingly dings.
But you can play
find
by
it.
ear.
Okay,
Not everyone can
yes,
do that.
I can find something on like a piano or a guitar, but like that doesn't. It's anyone can find it. You
Yeah.
just have to like take the time and listen and pluck each note until you like.
What we should really do is blindfold you and have you just
Well,
fiddle
yeah,
with the
I
keys
definitely can't
and
find it
see
by.
what then happens. See what you come up with. What
Won't
sounds.
sound any good. Do you like this bass
So
though,
where do we go
or
from
or are
here?
we changing the what the instrument is?
I like that.
And
bass.
do you think the notes should ring out more?
Maybe we can change the.
like you mean extend them?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Ring out more.
I kind of like it staccato. It's a little funky, man.
You like it staccato?
It'll leave room for something else to ring out.
That's true. Like a maybe a trumpet. Like
Because music is also about leaving space. I feel like
Ooh, music's about leaving space.
that's why that pause at the end is nice.
that's so deep.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, it is. It gives me a little bit of time to breathe.
Okay.
Get ready for the next little head bob.
That's a nice drum kit, or whatever drum
Thanks, man. I did that.
plug-in. Uh-oh.
What's
There
coming
he goes.
out?
There he
Here
goes. ASAP is grabbing the mint green Fender.
What is her name?
We got a request.
What is this Fender's name?
How have you not named this
Named
yet?
it. We have
Gerald Fitzroy. Come on up.
We're gonna say what's up. Mo.
Oh, do we lose Gerald?
No, he. I brought him up. I think.
Nope. I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
there he
left.
is. No, there he
Where?
is.
I don't see him.
Hey, Gerald, how are you?
Hey, what's good, bro? How are you?
Good,
Pretty good,
brother.
pretty
How
good.
you
Thank
doing?
you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a fine Saturday evening.
Yeah, it really is. What do you got going on? You digging the jams that we're just fiddling around with over here?
Oh yeah, really digging the jams, bro. They're sick, honestly.
Nice, man.
I'm just liking the vibes here.
Well, thank you. Where you calling in from? Where are you joining us from?
The not so brilliant United Kingdom, my friend.
It's we have one of our notorious frogs that is actually from the UK, I believe. but I don't know if he's in the
wow.
UK. Yeah,
You believe so? Yeah, you get that from the
I
accent?
think so. I would garner a guess, but I never peg where somebody's from based off their accent. Bingus, okay. But nice, man. You a musician or you do any dabbling?
Not really. I don't really. I used to mess around in like GarageBand and stuff and make beats, like really awful beats when I was like 8. But that was about it.
Dude, that's we've
You got to start someplace.
We've made some pretty awful beats as well, so you know what I mean. It's about just shaking those.
Everything is a numbers game.
Yeah, that's true.
You
that's
gotta
true.
make 99 awful things to make that one masterpiece.
But I also like that you're real with yourself. Like you're not like, yeah, man, I was just pushing out some heat. You know what I mean? Like
I was 8 years old making some smacking beats.
Because regardless, I still want to hear them. But then, like, if we pull it up and it's not heat, I gotta just be honest with you. I'm like, bro, this isn't heat, man.
Trash.
You know what I mean? Like
you're just shitting on our audience, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm being honest.
Gotta be real with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because if not, man, if somebody's telling you like, oh, you're the greatest musician on the planet, and it's like, yeah, well, no one else is saying that. You gotta kind of.
What time is it over by you, Gerald?
It's 9:50 p.m.
All right.
Well, let's try to get it
settling in for those evening jams.
Yeah, well, it's like exactly. Let's set a nice vibe for Gerald over here.
Well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, and we're gonna get back to this jam session now that ASAP has his guitar plugged in.
I'm gonna go ahead and tune it.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna go have another. I'm about 6 vodka tonics in. I'm gonna go have another one. And I'm gonna probably go have like a quick drive. Relaxing evening drive or something like that.
Sounds like a wonderful
idea. Please don't drive after you've had 7 vodka tonics.
Yeah, that's not a good vibe at all.
Look,
that's
I've done it before. Okay, I'm an expert.
Okay, well, we don't condone drinking and driving on this show. I'm just going to go ahead and say that
wrong accidents happen by sober drivers.
What?
So, like, if only 30% are drunk drivers, then and besides, drunk drivers don't cause accidents. Drunk crashes do.
Well, there is a great quote from the movie from I think the late 80s, early 90s called Summer School, where one of the characters says, you know why there are so many people that are drunk that get into accidents? Because we're not taught to drive drunk, man.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I believe in that all the way.
I know you do. It sounds like it.
And just, thank you to that. Actually, I'm going to put double vodka in my vodka
come
tonic
on,
now.
man.
I'm actually going to get the tonic.
Listen, once again, we do not condone drinking and driving on this show. I just want to...
I do. I do.
Very good. You have a good night, Gerald, and thank you for joining us, and we hope you just stay put and listen to these jams.
We're going to make some sweet vibes, man.
These are in the hands, boys.
You won't even be able to...
Yeah, you stay your ass home, man.
Nah.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get back to this jam session now, and we're gonna hope that Gerald goes ahead and stays put tonight.
We're gonna just sing, Gerald, don't go driving.
In fact, Gerald, do us a favor and join our next show.
I was literally about to say Gerald might have to be like just like a running thing that joins.
Yeah, no,
our
I think
space.
we need to check in and make sure that Gerald is okay. So I think you should definitely join us next time.
Which won't be next Saturday. It'll be the one after.
Oh yeah.
Because of Thanksgiving or something?
Yes.
Interesting.
Did you want to
You're making all sorts of announcements over there, A-Bomb.
There's a holiday known as Thanksgiving where you give thanks.
All right, let's get back to the jam session here
and eat plentiful food.
You got your beautiful mint green Fender.
Hey man, I was going to hand it over to you. You're the one with the biddly boops going on.
Oh, you ripped this out for me?
Yeah. I was going to let you...
you said you did play the guitar. You literally said it's a WeinbagZ. Don't make us pull WeinbagZ back up from his chores and make him have to come and say that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's like I'm your guitar tech.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
It's like I'm your guitar tech.
All right.
There you go.
I'll noodle. All right, that's fine.
She's ready.
I think you should because it's a musical collaboration and I did the bass line, but that's fine.
It's a musical collaboration.
That's fine. All right, hand it over. Yeah, you looked very confused.
I thought you were about to smash that guitar through the screen right there.
All right, let's go.
All right. Well, here we go. Bingus is going to hop on this bad girl right here and just strum away. We're going to see what he can come up with. Hopefully, it's not trash. We'll see shortly.
Just don't swing that at my face.
Okay.
You got a pick, or am I just supposed to use my fingers here?
Oh, I use my fingers sometimes.
Look at this little thing. This looks like a pic that a 4-year-old would use. I like it.
I like it. My buddy, the photographer at the forum, Timothy Norris, gave that to me.
Shout out Tim Norris.
Tim Norris is awesome. I've been trying to get him on the podcast. He's a very interesting man. Shoots music photography, but is also a musician himself. He gave me that pic as a gift because he said it's like carrying just a little something. You know?
Well, let's see if Bingus can make it do a little something here. He specifically needed a pic. I like it, Bingus. Maybe playing with Andrew Watt rubbed off on you a little bit here, huh, boy?
Let's see. That
Bingus is going to try to lock down a chord or two here.
No, I don't like that where that sits.
I want higher pitch. Can we go higher pitch?
Yes, that's. So, is this regular E? Okay. F, G, A, sharp, C sharp.
Yeah, that don't sound too bad right there.
So.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe something like this.
Yeah, I like it.
What do you think?
Yeah, do it again. Do it again.
of reminds me like the Eagles a little bit. You know?
It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock,
2 o'clock,
everybody.
everyone. In California.
Mr. A-Bomb has to send off.
I'll catch all you DJs later. These guys are going to be jamming and, slamming, so keep it going, boys.
All right, I'll try to make all the wise ass remarks for you then. Keep that going. I said I was ready, but I wasn't ready. Oh, to loop. Okay. Later, bro. So now ASAP is going through the different instruments in Logic here and changing the sound of my guitar or his guitar.
Our guitar.
Our guitar. And that's where we're going to call it for this one. Thank you so much for being with us for another Sapo Scratch Track Saturday, and we'll see you next time. Sapo out.